Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel once again, and in today's video I'll be sharing some of the insights and some of the first two battles with my opponents in the Bengal Firefly Cup that I have participated in, which is the regional tournament on Silph. So for Firefly Cup, the allowed typings are normal, bug, electric, poison and ice, and the bands are megas are banned and specific banned on ground typings, along with some of the specific Pokemons as well, being Walrein, Escalvier, Dragals, Salazzle and Pachirisu over here, because these Pokemons are just too overpowered to be used in this Firefly Cup. So the team that I have chosen over here, it's a select 6 pick 3 format that we are playing in. So the team that I have chosen over here is alolangravelar, Toxicroak, Obstagoon, Galvantula, Forretress and Golbat over here. So for the team composition which I have chosen over here, so the first Pokemon that I chose over with my team is going to be the Graveler over here, because it is rock and electric typing that that resist both ice, electric, poison as well and normal. So the only thing that I have to cover is the counter users or the pseudo fighters over here. So the pseudo fighters in this meta is Vigoroth, along with Obstagoon, Toxicroak and Heracross, I believe. Yeah, it's Heracross. So I have to cover that up. So for covering them, I chose a anti-fighter over here, which is my Golbat. But for Golbat also, I need coverage against electric and ice, which because of its partial flying typing, for which I do choose over here my Galvantula and Forretress over here, and which both are bug typings, but the subtypings on them are electric and steel. So the steel typing does resist many poisons, ice and normal as well, whereas it takes double super active from partial fire. So that is the case where Galvantula, I have chosen Galvantula because it can handle fire as well, because of the spamminess from discharge and lunge along with volt switch damage. So this is the first 4 pick over here that I have chosen, and for my own fighters, like pseudo fighters, I have chosen over here Toxicroak and Obstagoon. So Toxicroak is the main selection over here as a fighter, because it does have a great matchup against safe swap positions, but I do have to take watch out for some of the confusion users, because since it's fighting and poison typing, it takes double super effective from confusion type users, maybe Warmadam Trash and maybe and Oranguru as well. So for that, I have chosen a pseudo fighter once again, which is going to be the Obstagoon, which can easily handle the confusion damage along with the counter and cross chop coverage as well. So that's all for the team comp that I have selected over here. So this team have a great coverage in this whole meta, because that's how I made this team into. And for the bulk and consistency, it's not that great, but still it's manageable over here. So for the first battle over here, it's against my opponent, which is Dragon Emperor 57, which he is running the team of Drapion, Galvantula, Toxicroak, Vigoroth, Lantern and Frostlass. So this team looks really great. So over here, so since this team don't have something that is really weak to that really hard counters my Galvantula over here, so I'll be using Galvantula as my lead over here in the first set of battles, and along with Toxicroak safe swap, because you can see that it have Lantern along with Vigoroth, Toxicroak, Drapion and Frostlass, which my Toxicroak can easily handle. So along with counter, Mud Bomb and Sludge Bomb coverage. So I'll be using Toxicroak as a safe swap, and the Forretress as my closure over here. And the reason I'm using Fortress in this closure position, because Fortress is kind of bulky and my opponent team does not have something like a part fire user, like part fire subtyping. So that is the reason I'll be using Fortress as my closure over here. And for this whole team, Fortress does really great, like along the whole team, but it does lose out very closely to Toxicroak and I believe Vigoroth. I'm not sure, but Toxicroak and Vigoroth. So, but still, it is manageable along with energy advantage and shield advantage and management as well. So this is the team, and there is a thought process that I had with my team and watching my opponent's team over. So I'll be not delaying the introduction much more, but rather I'll be straightly going into the battles and check out how this first battle went against Dragon Emperor 57. So moving into the first battle, with my Galvantula, and let's see what my opponent does come with. So they have their own mirror Galvantula over here. So now I'll be trying to get to the first lunge over here, and by that I does not have to shield over here. And let's see, yeah, I do win CMP tie over here, but I'm not quite sure if it was a CMP tie. Rather, they might should have went for extra volt switch in. And as you guys can see, I did face some internet issues, so I had to switch into my mobile network. So, but rather, I do get the attack drop, which is fine, and I get the first shield from my opponent, which is really nice. So now I'll be letting the next lunge go through, and to which I will be going for the next lunge, and let's see what my opponent does, uh, like does over here. So the next lunge going through, and as you guys can see, I'll not be speeding up this matchups further, because I'll be playing it in a like in a normal normal speed over here, to which they swaps into their own lantern over here. And I do have a counter to lantern, because I do have a Toxicroak which is using mud bomb, and they went for the thunderbolt is neutral, but Toxicroak is fairly glassy, which is the reason it almost took 70% of the damage. And now after charging up almost two mud bombs, I will be going for the first mud bomb. So to which I believe they will be letting the first charge move go through. Yeah, they let the first charge move go through, to which I do sneak in a counter through, which is really nice, because now I can shield up once and I'll be going for the hard farm. And let's see what my opponent does chooses to do over here, because I'll be going for the hard farm in this scenario. And I believe they will be coming back with their own Galvantula, which is I think like 1 volt switch away from the next discharge or lunge. Yeah, but they comes back with their Toxicroak, and I got denied and I cannot throw the move over here, which is really unfortunate and which is not great for me. To which they comes back with their Galvantula, and I was actually not correct, because they have a discharge loaded, and this is really looking tough for me. To which I let the first discharge go through and I'll be going for the hard farm, which is not great, because now Toxicroak can come back, which is fairly healthy, and they can go for the like hard counter farm down, but they throws over here, which I am happy with. I have one shield in my uh, in my in my hand, but still I did not want to bait over here, because I thought that they will be not catching the bait over here. So that is the reason I'll be going for the straight earthquake, hoping to get the knockout. But they did recognize that it was earthquake, and they shielded over here, and I do have a very low Galvantula over here, which will be like definitely getting the knockout with the next mud bomb. And that will be all for the first battle, which was a loss from my end, and that was a really great game from my opponent's end. So GG's to my opponent, really well played. Now moving into the next matchup, which started off in between, because I did like forgot to record at the starting. So this matchup, it was a Toxicroak mirror matchup. So I came back with my Toxicroak over here because now I am actually using my Galvantula as a safe swap and not Toxicroak, to which they again swaps out into their own lantern and catches a mud bomb, which is not a great thing, because mud bomb is super effective to this lantern over here. And now I'll be coming back with my own Galvantula over here to counter this lantern, because it does have access to Hydro Pump and Thunderbolt, which both are resisted onto my Galvantula. So Galvantula can easily handle this first Thunderbolt, which is resisted, but still Galvantula is a glass cannon, as you guys all know. So I'll be going for the next lunge over here. Beg your pardon, the first lunge, which will do a decent amount of chunk, and now I can go for the heart farm over here with my Galvantula. So now my Galvantula is loaded, and let's see what my opponent does come back with. So they comes back with their own Toxicroak, which is fairly healthy, I believe. Yeah, I believe it's in yellow. Yeah, it's in yellow, but one discharge does take it out from that kind of range. And the final Pokemon is going to be their own Galvantula over here, which is not that bulky cat that can handle both my Toxicroak and my Forretress. And I don't have even I haven't revealed my Forretress till now. So now I'll be coming back with my Forretress over here, and I'll be going for the bug bite damage, which is really nice for me, to which I will be going for the first mirror shot. And this, I believe, will be getting the first final shield from my opponent, which I am really hoping to get so, because I came back with my Forretress because it is fairly bulky and it can handle almost two discharges over here. Yeah, it can handle two discharges, so I'll be letting the first discharge go through, and I opt to do as much damage as possible with my own bug bite, to which they goes for the next discharge over here, which I am happy to let it go, because my win condition over here is my Toxicroak, because Toxicroak is like is having access to mud bomb. But since this Galvantula is really low, it can I'll be going for the heart farm, and I do get the win for the second battle over here, and that will be a great game to my opponent. Really well played. So it's 1-1, and the final battle is going to be really promising over here. So now moving into the final battle over here, I again went up with my Toxicroak, and it's a mirror lead over here. And since I think I'll be winning this CMP tie over here with my opponent's Toxicroak over here, so I will be trying to get the shield advantage over here in this scenario, because I do have my Forretress and my Graveler over here, which is kind of a threat to something that is lurking in the back, because they have already opted to lead with their own Toxicroak over here. So for Toxicroak, it is the only hard counter in my opponent's team rather than the Vigoroth. So I am assuming, since they leaded with Toxicroak, they will not be having their own pseudo counter over here once again. So to which they will be going for the next mud bomb, and I'll be happy to let it go. So I'm happy that my Toxicroak is down in this scenario, but I'm having shield advantage. So they get switch and I get shield advantage. So now I'll be coming back with my own now I come back with my own Forretress over here, and they have their own Vigoroth once again. So they are actually running double counter over here, which is really great, because I does not want to face these two counter users with my own Graveler over here. So for Graveler, which is fairly bulky in this Firefly meta also, but it does not want to face the counter users like Obstagoon, Heracross, these things, Toxicroak also. To which I'll be going for the next Earthquake, which is enough to get the knockout for this Vigoroth over here. And let's see what my opponent does have in the back. So they have their own Galvantula over here, and I have a shield advantage, to which they goes for the first lunge, and I will be happy to let this first lunge go through, because it's a lunge. I will be resisting my lunge, but still I will be holding on to my shields, because I was quite sure that they have their own Toxicroak onto their backline, which does have a loaded Mud Bomb. So Mud Bomb is the move that I should have watched, like I should have saved my shield for, which I did perfectly, and I'll be going for the next Rock Blast over here. So Rock Blast from that kind of range to a Toxicroak will be enough to get the knockout. Yeah, it's enough to get the knockout, and I am just one volt switch away to get to the next Stone Edge over here, which will be a overkill to this Galvantula, which I'm quite sure. And the Stone Edge goes through, and it does knock the Galvantula out from that kind of fairly good health, and that will be all for the first set of battles over here. And that was a 2-1 victory from my end. So really great game from Dragon Emperor. So GG's to my opponent. And now moving into the next set of battles against Emre, who is my opponent for this tournament in the next set. So I'll be pausing a video for some time because I want to share some of the insights and my team up against my opponent's team. So my opponent is running Wormadam Trash, Vigoroth, along with Golem. I'm not sure that it is a rollout Golem or a Volt Switch Golem, along with Galvantula, Heracross, and Crustle. So this team looks really promising to me, and is kind of threatening as well, because my team is not that too strong to handle Wormadam as well. But I do have a counter to Wormadam, which is my Obstagoon. But for my Obstagoon, they have got hold of two really great counters, which is Heracross and Vigoroth. So it is really like risky to play with Obstagoon. So that rather I'll be playing with my own Toxicroak as a lead, because I'm not sure that they will be coming back with coming with the Wormadam in the lead. Rather, I'll be using the Toxicroak in my lead over here, and I'll be safe swapping into my Forretress over here. So with this team also, Forretress does have a really great play, because Forretress closely loses to Crustle and Heracross in one shield scenario, but still it does have a really promising matchup. So similarly, I'll be using the same lineup that I have used up in the previous round, rather first round. So the second round I'll be using Toxicroak along with Forretress, Safe Swap, and Galvantula closer. And let's see how this team performs over here against Emre. So now moving into the first battle. So I'm not quite sure what happened, but I felt there was some kind of lag, or maybe they swapped out into something I could not see, because I did face some lag. But still, I'll be letting the first charge move go through, which is the lunge over here. And now after building up to almost two mud bombs over here, I safe swapped into my Forretress over here. So for Forretress, it can handle discharges over here, maybe two discharges alongside. Yeah, it can handle two discharges, but it will really make it very low. So that is the reason I'll be going for the next mirror shot over here, which will be enough to get the knockout for this very low Galvantula. And let's see what my opponent does over here. So before my opponent does opt to shield, which is really nice. And now from this range, I think I can survive one discharge. Like I can't survive one discharge, but still I'll be opting to put up my first shield, and I'll be going for the heart farm. I hope I do get the heart farm, which in case I do, and let's see what my opponent does come back with. So my opponent does comes back with their own Heracross over here, which is not a great thing, because they swapped out Heracross in their first position. So so now I'll be going for the first mirror shot, which does get the defense, beg your pardon, the attack drop over here. But now I'll be in a tough situation to come back with my Galvantula or Toxicroak. Now to which I come back with my Toxicroak over here, and they have got a Crustle, which is really nice, which is really tough for me now, because for Crustle I do have a really tough matchup with Crustle, because my Galvantula does really loses to Crustle because of the smackdown damage from Crustle. So to Crustle, I am going to put it like in its yellow health, as far as I can do with my counters, and they have to throw over here. So to which I have to put out the shield, because they might be throwing the rock slide, but they went for the bait of Exeter, which is not really great, because now I have to go for the next lunge to get the knockout for this Crustle, but they have got a loaded Heracross onto their back, which he's having access to Rock Blast, and which will be enough to get the knockout for this Galvantula over here as well, and it will be the loss for the first battle with Emre in the second round of Silph Firefly Cup. So that was a really heartbreaking for me, because I lost the first battle in both the rounds, and let's see if I can come back. So now I'll be like again safe swapping into, like, I'll be coming back with my Toxicroak, and they safe swaps into their own Galvantula over here. So for Galvantula, they will be going for the first lunge over here. So I'll be letting the first charge move go through, because I can handle one lunge, and now I'll be going for the next Rock Blast after building up to a Stone Edge. So Rock Blast from that kind of range can really hurt to this Galvantula over here, and let's see what my opponent does over here. To which they puts up their first shield, and now I'll be going for the next Rock Blast, but not before they can throw one more lunge. So for them, like, they had to throw over here, and now I'll be putting off my first shield, and I'll be going for the next Stone Edge rather, because I am double debuffed right now. So for Stone Edge, I think it will be enough to get the knockout for this Galvantula over here. Yeah, which is enough, and let's see what my opponent does have onto their backline. So they comes back with their own counter user, which is the Heracross, and to which I will be coming back with my own Toxicroak over here. So for Toxicroak, it can handle one close combat, or rather Rock Blast, but I think they will be going for the close combat this time. So close combat does put me very low, and they comes back with their own Crustle. So for Crustle, I do have again a really great matchup with not really a great matchup with my own Forretress over here, because I'm taking like neutral damage from these smackdowns, because I'm part steel and part bug, to which I'll be going for the super active damage with the mirror shot, because they are also part rock and bug. So it's kind of super effective, but still mirror shot is not that of a great move, to which they will be letting the first one go through. And since they are holding on to one more shield, I will be going for the next mirror shot, which I believe will be enough to get the knockout for this Crustle, but they opt to shield over here, which is really nice. So now I will be coming back with my own Toxicroak over here, and I have to shield up this next attack. So this might be a Exeter, or might be a Rock Slide, which is a Rock Slide, and I'll be going for the Heart Farm this time. So this time I'll be going for the Heart Farm, and hope they did not they do not survive a Sludge Bomb from this kind of range, but this snuck in a counter, which is really not great rather, and they survive the Sludge Bomb with almost 5 HP, and to which they counters me down, and I do lose the game on the second battle over here also. So eventually I have lost 2 battles over here, so I have lost the round, but still I'll be going for the next match. So now for the next match, I switch up team once again. I'll be coming like, I do lead with my Forretress over here, to which they swaps back into their Vigoroth, and I miss out some of the recordings, to which they swaps back into their Vigoroth, and I come back with my own Golbat over here. So Golbat is kind of a great response to this Heracross, which is kind of a troublesome thing for me, and it is not very great. So to which I'll be now coming back with my own Forretress over here, and let's see what my opponent does have onto their back. So I believe they are actually running Wormadam Trash in the lead, so that's the reason they swapped out over here. So since I did not want to face the Wormadam Trash and Golbat matchup, I swapped out into my Golbat with this Vigoroth. So now I'll be going for the next Earthquake, which like hits really hard and almost put the Wormadam into his yellow of its health, to which I'll be opting to get the first shield, opting for my first shield with the Iron Head, which is resisted, but still it would have done enough for the Wormadam to farm me down. To which now I'll be going for the next mirror shot, and let's see if my opponent does opt to shield over here. But let's see. They let it go, but it is not enough to get the knockout, but I do get some extra farm. And let's see what my opponent does have onto their backline. So they are actually running Golem with rollout, which is a really hard like fast energy generating fast move, but it is having a very low damage output. To which I'll be going for the first mirror shot over here, which I believe does put like lot of effort to get some damage onto this golem over here, and they went for the rock blast. So I'm quite sure that they are actually running rock blast along with a wild charge. So that is the reason I come now. Now I have my Graveler over here along with this golem. So I'll be opting to shield over, like not shield the first time, because I am quite sure they did not want to debuff their attack, like debuff their defense with the wild charge. And now I'll be opting to get my final shield off, which is again once again a rock blast over here, to which they sneak in a rollout over here. And now I'll be going for the next rock blast, which definitely will be getting in the final first shield, and to which I'll be going for the rock blast number 2, which is going to thread the golem and opt my opponent to give their final shield over here. And now I believe they will be going for the next wild charge over here, but since I snuck in one volt switch, it will be really close over here, because I can survive volt charge from that kind of range. And now since their defense is dropped, I will be going for the next volt switch damage, which is enough to get the knockout for the golem and indeed get the win for the final battle over here. So it was a 2-1 losing set for me in the second round of the Silph Firefly Cup, and that was a really great game for my opponents and Emre over here. So that was a really fun and like challenging team up with that my opponent came up with. So it was really hard to counter the Vigoroth and Heracross along with the Wormadam Trash. So it was really nice playing with him. So now I am up to the next round, which I'll be playing today over here, but it is still pending from my end, so I have to play it out. So I'll be definitely sharing these battles with you guys for the next round also. But for this video, that's all from my end, and from the round 2 of Silph Firefly Cup Bengal regional tournament. And I hope you guys send me your lucks over here, good lucks over here, if I can go for further in this tournament with some of the great competitors over here, which they have opted for. So if you're liking the content on this channel, do share it with your friends, hit the like button, subscribe to it, and also share your thoughts, comments and suggestions onto which I have really keen to get. So that's all from my end for this video, and hope you guys like it and enjoy this kind of videos. Over here I'll be sharing furthermore, and that's all for this video, and see you guys again in the next one. Till then, peace.